Hi, I'm Brian. Kettle's on. Make yourself a cup of tea. Now today I want to talk about this article on Bounding into Comics, saying that Avery Brooks would be willing to return to the role of Captain Sisko if the opportunity to do so arose. Now Deep Space Nine is my favourite Star Trek series, and Captain Sisko was and is my favourite captain. I thought he was brilliant. Avery Brooks just played it superb, especially in the later series when the hair came off and the beard arrived. Now let's have a look at the article of this. It says, Deep Space Nine actor Avery Brooks willing to return to the role of Captain Sisko. Star Trek Deep Space Nine actor Cedric Clifton had revealed his co-star Avery Brooks is willing and ready to return to the role of Captain Sisko for future Star Trek adventure. Lofton, who played Captain Sisko's son Jake Sisko during his tenure on Deep Space Nine, wrote in news on a recent livestream held between YouTube channel Orville Nation and The Seventh Rule, a Star Trek-centric podcast starring himself, fellow Deep Space Nine actor Aaron Eisenberg, who played Nog, and host-producer Ryan T. Husk. During the livestream, as transcribed by Geek Odyssey's Mike Sutton, when the topic of conversation turned to Brooks' nearly 20-year absence from acting, Lofton asserted it was a result of Brooks kind of being discriminated against. I think it needs to be said because this is an important time we're living in, where we're becoming socially aware of the types of things that are regressive in society, said Lofton. Things that are racial, sexual and all kinds of revolutions we are having in thought and acceptance of people. To that end, Lofton noted that while Brooks currently appears to have no agent, the actor would definitely be interested in returning to Star Trek universe if the opportunity presented itself. To say that he's not willing to act is kind of ridiculous, declared Lofton. There's no question that he's willing. Hopefully, CBS will approach Brooks to discuss his return in the near future, as according to a report from Sutton, published last October, the network is considering reviving Deep Space Nine for an upcoming Paramount Plus channel, the 2021 rebranding of CBS All Access. What adventures do you think Sisko will embark on if Brooks returns to the role? Now, like I've already said, Deep Space Nine is my absolute favourite Star Trek show. It had a slow start, but from the end of Series 2, it just kept getting better and better, and had a fantastic ending. It was a satisfying ending to the show. It rounded off the Dominion War, the war between the Prophets and the Power Wraiths, and after the fight between Sisko and Dukat, Sisko went to live with the Prophets. So if he does come back to the role, it would mean they would have to bring him back from living with the Prophets to being corporeal again. Would it take place on Deep Space Nine? I'd like to think so. I mean, it wouldn't have to. I think it would still have to deal with Bajor, as that was a big premise of Deep Space Nine. Bajor and the relationship to their gods, the Prophets. Now, a little while ago, I would have been super excited for this. Like I said, Avery Brooks, Captain Sisko, my favourite Star Trek captain in my favourite Star Trek series. But after seeing how they treated the character of Picard when they brought him back for the series, I kind of hope this doesn't happen, because I wouldn't like to see Sisko's character be dealt with the same way. Now, obviously, it is just rumour that they might be bringing him back, and it is just saying he is willing if the opportunity does return. But the Picard we got back in the Picard series wasn't the same character that we left the Next Generation series and films with. And I just don't want the same thing to happen to Captain Sisko. Now, the Picard series I wasn't a fan of. I barely made it to the end of 10 episodes, and I very much doubt I'll be back for Series 2. But I just feel that if they do bring him back, it needs to be brought back in the light of how he was in Deep Space Nine, and not some form of reimagined version of him not being as badass as he was. I mean, Sisko was fantastic. I mean, Deep Space Nine, he didn't mess with Captain Sisko, and if we brought him back, I'd like him to still be that. His badass, no-nonsense character who was not afraid to break the rules when they needed to. I mean, that was shown many times throughout the series. But what do you guys think? Would you like to see Avery Brooks return to the role of Sisko? Would you like to see Deep Space Nine get a revival in some way? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And that's all from me. I'm off to make a fresh cup of tea.